Hi everyone, I am live on Facebook. It is Thursday night. I am so excited to see you guys here. And today I wanted to take some time to really connect with you and talk about really the cleanse. We keep getting a lot of people coming on and asking about what the cleanse is about, whether it will help them, whether it will be suited to them in their particular circumstances. And so a lot of folks have been coming over and, sharing with us their unique circumstances. So, for example, your unique circumstance on, the fact that you might be traveling a lot, or the fact that you can't really do raw that much, or the fact that you've never juiced, or that you don't own a juicer, and can you do the cleanse without a juicer, or how many supplements do you have to purchase on the cleanse? And we've covered a lot of this information that is on the uh, FAQ section of the website. Everly says, I'm very unique. Yes, you are very unique, Everly. I completely agree with that. Saraswati, hi, thank you. Chandra, hi. Roseanne, hello. Jackie, hi. Hello, you guys. It's so good to see you all. So where I was going was that, hi Cindy. Hey Denise, how's it going? How are you? It's really good to see you here. So here I was talking about Angie, hello, uh, why the cleanse is really important, and for more reasons than you realize. Like, so a lot of people want to have Ashley, hello. Kaneen, hello. So many people here. Pam, hello. Good to see you again. Larissa, hi. Robin, hi. Rebecca, hi. So many people on here. Love it, love it, love it, love it. So a lot of people are wondering, how you get to work with medical medium. And I keep getting inquiries from people about, hey, is Anthony doing consults? If so, when will he start again? And the answer is no, he's not doing them right now. And unfortunately, Julie, hi. Unfortunately, that's something we have to deal with. He's busy writing books and sharing his information and gifts in other ways for us right now. And as a result, we've been really, really busy, and we're very grateful to be busy. And yet there are still people that we cannot get to, and we want to be able to get to them. Hi, Kyra. So I wanted to share a little bit about why the cleanse is a really great way to work with me. If you are wanting to work with me, the cleanse is a great way to do it, because there will be a community, there will be Q&A, there will be live calls, there will be a way to access information. I'll tell you something. Like, you want to know what I do in a consult? Some of you have had consults with me, so you know what happens. Some of you have not. So in a consult, I am sharing with you, I'm doing a reading, I'm doing a personal reading. I'm sharing with you, protocols for, food protocols. I'm looking at your diet in depth. We, do a little bit of Q&A about some supplements that you might be on, and maybe we add in a few more, take out some supplements. Really, that's what happens in a reading. Plus, if there's anything emotionally going on, then I definitely tend to bring that up in the reading as well. So, Bonnie, hello. So, I have been really excited to do this work, but also what I've been looking at is the thread of common questions that everybody asks me in a consult. And so I often find myself answering the same question again and again. Like with food, those are the most common questions about food. Hey, Julie. Hey, Taryn. And the reason that I wanted to come on and talk about, hey, Shira, hello, about the cleanse is because those questions that people ask me across the board in a consult. Do I have to have celery juice? What's the benefit? I know about detox smoothie. Do I do that? Does it really help me? Do I have to do it all in one smoothie? Can I break it up? Can I, what do I have to be vegan? Can I be raw until 4? How do I know the difference? So many questions every single day that I get. I get sensitive to fruit. I can't have too much. I can't have too little. I get hungry at different times of the day. I crave different things. The questions around food are probably the thing that take up the most time in a consult. So we are wanting to help more people. And we've got our brains together and our heads together, and we're like, okay, how do we help more people? And the way to help more people is for you to join the cleanse, because the food piece that everyone has questions about, that everyone asks a billion times over, that is easy for me to answer in a group, is the place to join us, right? It's a really important place to come to, is the group, because that way, when a question gets asked once or twice and we answer it, we're like, look, we already answered it here. So it makes our job easier. It makes it easy for you to learn from so many people. Actually, one of the comments we had the most last time was that everyone felt that they really benefited from the questions of others. And I didn't think that that was going to be such a big deal. I know it happens a little bit in groups, but you guys asked the best questions. So we answered, and it helped everyone understand protocols better. It helped everyone understand the food piece better. It helped people who were having crashes from sugar drops to understand that better. It helped people who were into eating meat, who are having a hard time giving it up, starting that better. Shira, the next group starts on June 22nd. So this is the perfect time to join. And if you're interested, I will post the link right here so you have it. Julie says, will you be doing a cleanse in the future that can teach us how to supplement? Like how to figure out what supplements we need and how to figure out how much to take of them. If I cover that information, I will be covering it in Julie, in a practitioner program, because that's something that I wouldn't feel comfortable really putting too much out in for, people who are not trained in practitioner work, because there can be so much that needs to be shared about that. So, if you're in the practitioner program, then you'll learn more about it. So basically, where I was talking about, how we get asked all these questions about food, and how, it's not a personal reading. So everybody, I think, gets the fact that what we're doing in the group is not a personal reading. But what we're wanting people to understand is the bulk of the questions that you would have about the protocol are explained in there. We will touch upon some supplements. We will talk about what people are struggling with. We do get into it. I just cannot do personal readings, but we're sharing a lot of information. So if you're at all interested in, working with a medical medium practitioner referral, who is, a lot of us, some people don't want to spend the money to be in the, for a personal consult. They don't have it. It's too hard. And we wanted to make these things accessible and make them less expensive than a consult, so that, and the fact that they last longer, you get more out of it for what you are putting in. And I mean, you get a lot out of a personal consult, but this way you get access to a lot more information, and it'll be really there to support you. And that is our goal. Our goal is to support you on your healing journey, especially in the realm of food, the thing that people find the hardest to do. Most people, and you guys can back me up here, have a harder time changing their food than they do taking a bunch of supplements. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if you didn't struggle changing some part of your diet. Was that the harder part? Or was it easier to change the diet than to take supplements? Give me some comments to show up down here. Shira, by the way, I posted the link if you want to take a look. There it is for you. So Taryn says, you are right. Habime says, preach it. Yeah, I'm going to preach it. It's the hardest thing to do. And you know what? I private coached for a long time on food alone. I didn't do supplements at all. Before I joined Anthony, I was coaching on food, and I would take 6 months to coach people on a program of just food, just food. Like every 2 weeks, we would talk about a different part of food, different aspect of food, how to change things. And that's how much in depth you can go with food if you don't realize it. And so this program is like the fast track. It's the fast track to learn, educate, and get on with the food piece, which is the hardest piece. Thank you for backing me up. Rhonda says, harder to change diets, hands down. Larissa says, I didn't hear that. Jackie says, diet always. Magdalena says, are you able to give readings similar to medical medium? I'm curious, it just came in. I do readings. I was mentored by Anthony William. I'm a medical intuitive. I do readings. I don't read like Anthony in that he can see into people's bodies with the light that Spirit sends into his eyes, the light from heaven. And he has the voice of Spirit in his ear telling him what is wrong with people. But I can read, and I can come up with the issues that you could be dealing with, the root causes of them, and I can help you formulate a plan to help you get better. Yes, so I do. The results of what I do are similar to what he does, but I don't read the same way he does. Sue says, in the beginning, it was easier to take supplements than change the food. Lately, I'm not taking the supplements. Yeah, that happens because you get tired. But your food it comes on track, but it takes time to get there, right? With the cravings and all that. Julie says, harder to change foods. Jane says, easier to change food. Had a fear of supplements due to medical community PTSD. Had a real trust issue in taking pills. Yeah, I see that. That's a different issue, Jane. Thanks for sharing that. So Sarasvati says, we've been brainwashed by the current system that there may be a magic pill that solves our health issues without changing our diet. Yes, actually, Sarasvati, that's where it comes from. This difficulty with changing our food. And also, I'll tell you something else. You know, the food companies, they put tons of sugar in foods, even in salty foods. If you notice the labels and read the labels, they say sugar on them. And you have to really try and understand that sugar is more addictive than most even hard drugs. That's a fact. So when you are eating foods or have been grown up on foods or formula fed or grown up on foods that contain any of those gunky products, and believe me, we've all been there. We didn't know how to eat 30 years ago, 40 years ago. Our parents did the best that they could, but we ended up eating food that was not good for us, really. Salt is addictive. Do you know what is one of the most addictive combinations? Is a combination of bad sugar and salt. And so you know how if you had a bowl of like plain peanuts or plain almonds, how much of those plain almonds can you eat, right? So you eat maybe a handful and then you'll stop. But if those were honey roasted, salt and sugar, you're going to eat the whole bowl. Why? Because it's addictive. Because it works in the brain in a certain way and you just keep wanting to eat more. So the food companies have figured out what makes people crave more food. And they make food that makes you crave more of it. And so it's an emotional imbalance, it's a physical imbalance, and all of it plays onto each other, making us really struggle with making good choices for our foods, right? So here in this cleanse, we deal with that. You get direct support. If you start to have a craving for something, there'll be like 20 people who will come on and rally you on to make a better choice. Where else do you get that? I mean, do you live in a family who will support you with your making the right choices? If you do, you're really lucky. Because today, most of us live in families who don't have a clue what we're doing, don't know why we're doing it, make fun of us for doing it, be like the crazy people. And so there is no place to go. The place to go to get the support is a like-minded community, a community that's based on truth, the medical medium truth, and those who have love in their hearts, compassion in their hearts, and the courage to do this journey and to support and support and support others and to be supported by the others in the process. And it's just a really hard place to be when you don't have that support. So Sarasvati says, now you see salt and sugar in every processed food, even table salt contains GMO sugar. Yes, That's what I mean, because they've designed to make it addictive. So how do you break those patterns? You know, you could sign up for private coaching. It costs like thousands of dollars, or you can sign up for a program, the price of which goes up on Monday next week, but it's $187, and you can sign up for it, and you can get very much like that support. The people who will be supporting you, including myself, are also healers and coaches and trained in the medical medium practitioner support group in practicing and implementing Anthony's food protocols and supplement protocols, and they are there to support you. And you get support from not just me, but all these brilliant practitioners who are medical professionals, who are energy healers and, you know, health coaches, and you get the breadth of their experience. I mean, collectively, if you add up all the years of our experience, we're about like 200 years worth of experience that you'll be getting in this group, which is phenomenal. It's a really great place to be, to get the support to change your diet. And I don't care if you don't sign up. I don't care. I want you to know that if you are changing your food, get support. If you don't join this, get support somewhere. Because without support, it's the hardest thing to do. I hope you can find a like-minded medical medium friend online, or on Instagram or Facebook, or on this feed here. It doesn't matter. Get support. That's why we created this group, so that you can get support. And so that you can understand what makes you crave stuff. You know how, let me tell you another thing we all do with food. We take these ideas about food and we are like, all right, I'm going to do this diet, I'm going to do it right. And then something happens and you don't do it quite right. You know what you do? You're like, oh, I can't believe I did that. I don't have the willpower. I don't have the self-control. I don't have, there must be something wrong with me. Like, my health must be really that bad that I can't figure this out. I'm struggling. I'm this. And we go into this cycle of self-loathing, self-hating, self-judgment, and it's not pretty. Like, what goes on in human beings' heads is not pretty. Towards ourselves, more than towards anybody else. It is not pretty. You all know what I'm talking about because you've all been there, right? What goes on in your head is really hard to sift through. And sometimes it feels like you're being controlled by this voice in your head, by your emotions, by these feelings. And you know what? You can break those cycles. You can break them if you have the right support. If there's people who are supporting you, rallying you on, you know what? I couldn't have made the changes I made if I didn't have the support I did. And when I had support and I was like, holy shit, I really want to eat, like, I didn't crave sugar for too long, but I craved a lot of like salty food. And so I wanted popcorn and I wanted chips and when I was younger, I craved sugar a lot. You probably heard my story about, like, I could eat 8 Snicker bars in one shot. 8 Aero bars, those Aero bars with the holes in them. Those used to be my favorite. That and Snicker bars. Oh, and peanut M&Ms. Like, I lived off. I could like gorge, like those large bags of peanut M&Ms. I would gorge on them. You want to think that I've always lived and eaten perfectly, that this is easy for me? It is not. I'm a human being just like the rest of you. All of you watching, I'm like, it's a human thing. It is really hard to change old habits. It takes going through, like, I'm juice fasting, and there are moments where to get through the juice fast, I have to sit down and I have to go into prayer. Wherever I am, I'm like, God, okay, I really need your help. God, I really need support. God, I really need, call the angels. I need help to get through this moment where it is struggle, right? Because I know it's helping me, but those moments of struggle don't mean it's like easy breezy, got it, no problem. No, it is hard on this journey. And luckily I have friends who are medical medium, people, and they get it, and they're like, all right, just go sit down or just go take a walk outside, and they give you that support. Even me, I teach people this stuff, and even me, I need support when I am struggling in my life, because I always say, like, you can't, you can't see your own stuff. So you need someone else to help you sometimes when you're in that moment. You're like, can't see straight. You're like, oh, I have been saved from eating grain-free tortillas the other day, because they were sitting right in front of me. And that's hard because there's other people eating other stuff. And you're like, yeah, I got my juice, which is great. I love my juice. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm, like making myself do something that I hate. I don't. I love it. But even then, it is really hard to stick with it. That's why I post. One of the reasons, the secret reason why I post my food is because it makes me accountable to thousands of people who follow me. I'm like, okay, I'm doing this. And then everyone's watching. I'm like, okay, they're like, you guys, you keep me accountable. I'm like, okay, I'm going to post this because I'm going to stay the course. If I'm posting this, it's easier because, I'm like showing people how to do it. And then I have that responsibility. So I'm like, okay, I'm sitting there. Okay, it's not perfect. Believe me, I've caved into the chips and I've done all of that. But I can tell you that a master has failed more times than you can ever imagine. And I'm not a master yet. I don't even consider myself one. But I think I've failed enough times to know how to get up and go again without that judgment. And that's the whole point of this group. This is a no judgment zone. If you are coming in and you're upset at yourself, we're not going to allow you to be upset at yourself. It's going to be that simple. It's going to be like, nope, you don't get to be upset at yourself because you're human and we all love you and we're going to help you move on. All right, we're going to help you stay this course. We're going to rally you on. And that's what we're creating. Like, my vision is to create a group like this with thousands of people who want the support, who want the help, but in a no judgment zone. Because you know what? You cannot heal when you don't feel safe. When you don't feel safe, think about that in nature. There is lots of adrenaline running in your system. When adrenaline's running in your system, you have fight or flight going on. You are either going to run for your life or fight for your life. That's the biological response of not feeling safe. And we run into situations every day where we don't feel safe. And those get triggered from our childhood, whether it's related to food, whether it's related to something in our lives, whether it's an interaction with another human being, it often is, whether it's a situation where you could be losing your job, you don't get the promotion, all those things are examples of when we don't feel safe. And if you spend time in that energy a lot, you're not going to be able to heal as much. It's harder to heal when you're constantly in fight or flight. And so learning to let go, that's why I created a meditation just for this purpose, to help you let go of this feeling of struggle, this feeling of like, I can't do this another day, or I must suck because everybody else seems to be doing it just fine, right? And you see, that's the other thing that happens on Facebook that I don't like, right? Which is that you see somebody's life and you think, oh my God, they have it made. Like, they're having a great time. They've got this covered and it's like all good in your mind. But most people don't post their shit on Facebook, right? They're not posting those shitty moments of the day when they're struggling, and some people do, but most people don't, and they don't post it all the time. And sometimes they don't because, Facebook's not exactly a safe place. It's not a safe place to go and share. You're going to get criticized. People are going to call you out. People are going to call you names. And so you don't want to do it. So then the other side of that, the flip side of that, is that everyone thinks that, oh, if you're on Facebook and you're not, your life is great. And it's not. No one's life is that great where they don't have issues that they struggle with on a daily basis. No one's life. I can tell you that right now. If you're in a human body and you're on this earth, you have some sort of struggle. It's the reason you come here, because that is the human experience. So getting that, understanding that you can learn to love yourself more by being around people who will only love you and support you and rally you on. That's what we're creating. This isn't just about food, but food, is so connected to our emotions. It is all about emotions. It is all about what we are feeding and pulling emotionally that makes us eat what we do or what we don't, right? How many of you eat emotionally or have at some point in your life? Tell me. I do it. I've eaten emotional. Those 8 Snicker bars. Oh man, that was like major emotional eating. You know, when I was pregnant, when I was breastfeeding, even after medical medium and I was breastfeeding, yeah, there were moments where I just wanted so much carbohydrate. Like I had to have it. And fruit wasn't satisfying. And I'd have grain and I would eat other things because, you know, I had to do that. So emotional eating is so connected to feeling safe. We eat emotionally when you don't feel safe. Think about that. We eat emotionally when we don't feel safe and when adrenaline gets triggered and something's up emotionally. And that's what that group can help you prevent. That is it's a kind of a magical thing, because very few places that you can go to in the world that can stop you from eating that emotional trigger because of the support that you have. It's kind of amazing. So I want you to be able to take these ideas and think about them on your own journeys. Like think about where you have support and where you don't. Because that piece of support is what makes the difference for so many people between being able to stick with it or not being able to stick with it. Getting hope from it or not getting hope from it. The food piece is the hardest piece. The supplement piece is not that hard. It may be something you can't figure out for yourself, so you have to get help for that. But the food piece is harder. It's not hard to figure out. It's hard to do. It's hard to do on a regular basis. And that's a fact. The way we are humans, like animals eat instinctively, right? They don't have a big left brain that will override their instinct and tell them what to eat. Animals eat instinctively. You know, falcons. My husband has worked with falcons somewhat, and he, you know, when they fly and they overeat, they won't eat until their weight comes back down again. Isn't that cool? Like we don't have that mechanism. Don't we wish we had that mechanism? A lot of mammals are like that. They don't overeat ever because their instinct won't allow them to do it. But humans, we've lost our instinct. But you know what? When you eat fruits and vegetables, that instinct, which is your intuition, it starts to come back. That's why we call it the intuitive cleanse. It's the intuitive cleanse because so much of it is geared to really kick up this intuition of yours, right? And bring back the instinct. So I don't crave sugar anymore. I haven't craved sugar in 10 years. When I first started, the first thing to go was sugar cravings. And I'll tell you, I've had salt cravings because my adrenals have been so low. I had 3 babies, you know, close together, and I've nursed for 8.5 years nonstop. And so, you know, it's like crazy. Oh, all these comments are here. I didn't even see them. You know, all of these beautiful things that I've done with my body to make babies and serve babies. It's amazing, right? It's amazing what our bodies do, but they get tired. And so when you get tired, you crave more salt. So I have had salt cravings more than I've had sugar cravings. But the fact that I got over my sugar cravings was kind of a miracle. But it happened because I started eating clean food and everything balanced out. And that doesn't mean I don't have sugar cravings. Every now and then I'll crave chocolate. Every now and then. But not too often. Amy says she loves Aero bars. Yeah, I used to love them. Peppermint one was the favorite. Look at you guys, right? How do you recommend moving from the cleanse phase to full lifestyle change? Yeah, we'll talk about that in the cleanse, Valerie. It's going to happen. We're going to talk about that. Alyssa says, my 4-year-old has always stuttered. He stopped for a little while and we noticed it started again. What causes stuttering? It's 2 things. It's emotional trauma as well as some heavy metals. Bonnie says, will there be support to help those of us that travel and won't have access to good food? Yes, there will be support for people like you. I can't take enough to cover international trips and will need help on what to eat. Yes, there will be support for that. A lot of people travel and a lot of people have figured out some great tricks and tips on how to do it, Bonnie. Okay? Yvonne says, I really hope my autism Autistic son could be free from autism. How should I help him? Please advise. Yvonne, have you read the chapter in the Medical Medium book on autism, ADD? It's attention deficit hyperactivity. Chapter 12, right there in the book, right? Check it out. He's got a lot of great information in there. If you're not familiar with it, he says in the book that autism is caused by heavy metals in the brain. So it's important to take a look at that. Chandra says, I started my journey of going grain-free for over 2 years. If I slip up, does that mean I have to start all over? No. No. You can't bring back 2 years worth of strep killing off in one meal. No. A little bit, but not that much. So it's not like you went backwards all the way. Charlene, if my partner isn't following the protocol, will that hinder my healing since viruses can be transferred? Yeah, they can, but they're not just going back and forth, you know? My new possible dating partner eats organic and healthy, but is just being introduced and expressing interest in the MM diet. High five, sister. That's great. It won't hinder your healing. No. Amy says, hello, hello. Hi, Amy. Yumiko says, me. Evalie says, emotional eater. Yes. Connie, yes. So I starved myself for years. Yes, you're on fire today. Yes, I'm just fired up today because I've had some interesting sessions today with people, and all day I was like expressing to people how, I did sessions today that were highly emotional. Let's just put it that way. And, I see what people go through, and, it's interesting. It's interesting how that works. Terry says, my husband and I have been doing so good with not eating meat 2.5 weeks already. That's great. I'm having celery juice or lemon water, eating lots of raw plant-based foods, having lots of ingrown hairs. Must be from detox. No, ingrown hairs don't happen from detox. They just happen from the skin developing layers, which that part can happen from detox. As it sheds, it gets drier. So that's why that can happen. Chandra says, I used to crave sugar all the time and don't anymore. Yeah. Ivy says, keratosis pilaris is related with strep. Alyssa says, love your passion. You're welcome. Annette says, I craved olives for months. I would eat a whole jar. I've done that. I've eaten a jar of olives. Shoshi says, thanks for your support and information. I'm wondering if you can help me. I get period pain about 2 weeks before it starts. My body struggles to bleed, and then I get really bad pain. How can I bring on my cycle without starting and stopping? And how can I minimize the pain and the fatigue? Shoshi, are you on medical medium protocols already? Are you doing the viral protocols? Because it sounds like you have a viral load according to medical medium. That would be the cause of a lot of that. Also a strep load in the reproductive system. Julie says, I crave meat and cheese, fried chicken to be exact, LO. Yeah, we all have our thing. Okay, so after I finished with you want to know what I craved? Like after I finished with my sugar cravings, it was salt cravings, and I was like a diehard popcorn eater. Like every kind of popcorn, the gourmet popcorn, the flavored popcorn. And one day Anthony said to me, he's like, you can't eat the popcorn. I'm like, what? And he goes, yeah, you can't eat the popcorn. It like feeds, it feeds your virus. It's like it's really not helping you. I'm like, yeah, but it's not GMO. That was my response. He's like, it doesn't matter if it's GMO or not. You cannot eat it. And I was like, oh, all right then. And so, in a follow-up call, I'm like, I'm really struggling. Like, I really want the popcorn. Like, I can't, like, the cravings are so high. And he said to me, eat potatoes. Get potatoes, fry them in coconut oil, and eat them. I'm like, you mean like fries? And he goes, yeah. I'm like, fries? Aren't those like really unhealthy? And he goes, it's better than popcorn. I'm like, why? And he goes, because it's not feeding anything. It's not feeding a virus, but it will take care of the craving. And I didn't believe him for a while. I'm like, no, I don't think I can do that. I hadn't eaten potatoes in like 12 years at this point. And he's telling me to eat potatoes. I'm like, I don't know. And I was pregnant. He's like, don't do that. Like, you will get a viral load really high. Don't do the corn. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll do the potatoes. So one day I'm like, fine, I'm gonna fry the potatoes. I fried the potatoes, and oh my God, it was so good. It was so good. and I felt so amazing. And so I fried potatoes for a long time to get over that craving for popcorn, right? Like you've got to do what you got to do. Joe says, thanks for sharing Nina Lee's songs. I love the album. I know, I love her. She's such a great artist. Angie says, I crave rice so bad. Joanna says, what are your thoughts on vaccines and flu shots? Unfortunately, I can't answer those questions here, honey. All right, so hi, Maria. Thanks so much. How does eating fruit affect a sluggish fatty liver? It heals it, Maria. A sluggish fatty liver is healed by eating fruit. It really helps it so much. Paula Bennett, it's popcorn for me. My nickname was Paula Popcorn. Oh my God, really, Paula? Me too. It should have been Muneeza Popcorn. Like, I loved popcorn. Monica says, I started with celery juice, turmeric, lemon water, and supplements, slowly trying to eliminate. To do strep protocol, what would you recommend to add if I'm going slowly? I cannot recommend supplements here, but I think you should check out the Strep Show, where he talks about supplements. He talks about a lot of different ones over there. He talks about Golden Seal. He talks about thyme, lemon balm, all of those things. Going slowly. If you want to go super slow, then add in some lemon balm tea. Okay. Amy says, I've fallen for organic black bean pasta and organic coconut, maple, vanilla, Madagascar bourbon chips. Where do you get those, Amy? Those sound good. I wonder, better than chips and dip. Well, definitely. But those sound like dangerously addictive too. Chandra says, are licorice root and golden seal the only supplements you have to pulse? That you're aware of? Yes. There's others, but you don't need to know them because you're not dealing with them. Amy says, oil and potatoes. Which oils should we not be combining with other foods? No, see, I mean, oils in general, if you're doing the cleanse, you're not supposed to be combining fats and sugars. And if you want to lose weight, then you don't do that. Now, I had the potatoes and the chips, the fries, because I was getting over a craving. You see, it was a transition food. And you can use some things as transition foods that are not okay as cleanse foods. So you just have to understand that there's a difference. And there's a purpose for everything, right? So it's yummy. Yeah. But it's for a purpose. Leslie says, I eat potatoes every day. Anthony William changed my life. I agree. He changed my life too. Cholet says, air fried chips. Yummy. I haven't used an air fryer yet. So I don't fry potato chips really anymore. But we steam them or we do other things with them. But I have been really interested in this air fryer. If you guys have experience with it, let me know. Anastasia said, Anthony, to eat steamed potatoes. I fell in love with them thanks to him. They're so good. Japanese sweet potatoes are my favorite. Me too. I love them. Kimberly West, so great to hear everyone's struggles. I have plenty of my own. It's good to know I'm not alone. Cravings, oh my gosh. Yes, so many. It's good to see a group, right? Like, you're not the only crazy one. You're not alone when it comes to cravings. You're not alone with food struggle. Food struggle is a real thing. Every day, even if you're eating McDonald's, food struggle is a real thing, right? There's very few people I know who don't think about their food, who don't struggle with their food, who don't want to be healthier, who be like, I'm making a healthier choice. I'll have Cheerios today. Or I'm making a healthier choice. I'll have, I won't eat the Doritos with cheese on them. I eat them without cheese. Believe me, there are people making those kinds of choices all the time. And you're just, this group, you guys are like major sophisticated compared to most people, because you are wanting to eat fruits and vegetables. That's kind of radical today. Like, very few people want to do that. And people are understanding the point of a more plant-based diet. They're understanding the point of, wanting to bring in more plant foods. But nobody's actually eating, very few people in the world are actually just eating fruits and vegetables, right? So you guys are radical. You're nowhere near the Cokes and the sodas and the fast food and, eating pizzas from Pizza Hut or Domino's. You're not doing that. You're not doing any of that. You're doing really sophisticated stuff. You got to know you're a special group. And that's why anyone coming into this cleanse, you're coming into being with family. I'll tell you something really special. We were at the LA event and Anthony came on And the first woman who was called up from the group, 2,500 people, however many were there. There were 20 people called up to get a reading. And the first woman who came on stage, and he's like, "Hi, how are you? And how's it going?" And he said, do you want me to like share? And she's like, "I don't know. I'm a little nervous in front of all these people." And he's like, "You're nervous in front of them? You shouldn't be nervous in front of them. They're your family." He's like, "These people are wanting you to get better. These people know the right foods to eat. They can help you. They're your family." And that's what this is. Everybody watching these lives, everybody on my Facebook page, everybody in the cleanse, all of my clients. Like I sometimes think I wish I could get all of you together in a big room and we'd be hugging each other and kissing each other and like loving up on each other and being like, "I made this, check it out." And can you imagine the great foods that we would all make for each other? We would like rock it out. It'd be like the best party in town. And that's the whole vision that I have for this cleanse and the cleanse group. That's what we're doing. We're creating family. We're creating support. And not just like, "Oh yeah, I'm here in the group and I'll see you." Like I'm not really in it. And some people will participate more than others. But it's family. I've had people from the last group make buddies with each other, and then they were being each other's partners and accountability partners, and then they met up and they've stayed in contact, and they got support lifelong, right? Forever, for free, out of the group. It was so awesome. So Kimberly, you said, "My son grinds his teeth in his sleep. Why does he do this? I heard it could be a parasite." It's not a parasite in that way. It's shingles that does that, according to Anthony in his book. All right, so Kristen, what if your sugar is high and sometimes 108 and you're slightly underweight but otherwise healthy? Would fatty liver still be the cause? Well, first of all, Anthony says that, like 100, he said back in the day, it used to be 130, 140 used to be, if you hit that, then you were considered diabetic, but they lowered it. So he says 108-ish is not truly a problem. But yes, if you had a diabetic issue, fatty liver is definitely related. You're on the higher side, so you would be getting there, but you're not there yet. I recommend, Kristen, checking out Mindful Diabetic Robbie. He's awesome. He's got type 1 diabetes. He eats the medical medium way, and he's healed himself so much on his journey. Definitely check that out. Shole, you got that answer. Awesome. Amy says, "How do you recommend to best navigate an eye exam? Optimap or dilation is due for cataract surgery, so it can be retained. Is this safe?" Amy, that's a question that we should talk about in our private consult and not here, if that's okay. Everly, just used an air fryer for the first time. I hear files, but I'm not sure. Was it good? Well, tell me. Diane, so good to see you here. Hi, I've been doing your recommended protocol since February. Recently beginning very bloated with gas during the day and after tinctures. What do you suggest to calm this? Eat some more squashes and potatoes. Sweet potatoes will calm the gas. And maybe back off on the supplements just a little bit. Just a little bit. Give yourself a break. Maybe one day give yourself a break and then go back on it and see if that makes a difference. Carson says, "I love you." I love you too, Carson. Everly, just use an air fryer for the first time. Sliced up 3 potatoes. We can only eat 1 teaspoon avocado oil to 3 potatoes. Your kids would love it. Thank you. I might check that out. Annette says, "We're family. I got all my sisters with me." Absolutely. Like 100% feel that. Made in Nature makes the organic maple bourbon chips. You can control yourself. It's great. Mixed on Go Raw gluten-free granola or a top of a salad. No, I can't control myself. Like, I don't put foods like that in front of myself. My kids might enjoy a little bit, but Julie says, "I love you, all my family." Yes, family. It's true. Each time I speak stuff, anyone else would think I'm crazy, so I can only speak to the family. It's true. Ariana Rawls, absolutely made a world of difference having a group of 4 to keep accountable in the last cleanse. I'm so glad that worked, Ariana. Habime says, "Datum. I love the Anthony stories. I've got so many." Kristen says, "Thank you. You're welcome." Saraswati, even better than a born family, a family of like-thinking brothers and sisters is so true. To have like a group where you can come to and you can be like, I know you don't think I'm crazy. Like I often think, right, if you got into my head, you'd be like, she's a hypochondriac. She thinks of everything going on, like assessment of health symptoms 24/7. And I know you all do that too, right? Because you're healing and you're like, wait, like I feel this funny thing in my tummy. Oh, I have a weird noise coming out of my neck. Oh, there's like this coming. Oh, I feel a swelling here. Oh, I feel a little discomfort here. Oh, there's this tingling. And aren't you doing that all the time? And it's like, you know, you're in your head all the time with it. So this is the only place where you can come to. People will be like, treat you like a normal person. Mary says, having terrible time with sciatica. I'm on the cleanse. Oh, honey, that's like a shingles flare. So take the stuff for that to help, okay? Fionn says, hi, Muneeza. How do I find a good balance between feeding my toddler the foods that help her detox while making sure she gets enough fat and calories to help her grow? She doesn't eat large portion sizes, but loves oils. So, yeah, that's a good question because it's a tricky one with toddlers, right? They have a mind of their own. But just know that your toddler isn't going to starve herself. She's going to definitely take care of her needs and eat as much as she needs to. Children are way more instinctive than adults are because they didn't learn to override the instinct. So make sure that she's eating her foods, like, you know, giving her plenty of meals and options and fruits. And if she likes the oils, then she likes the oils. Yeah, you know, what back in the day when my kids were little and we used to do the grass-fed butter, like the cultured grass-fed butter that I get from a farm, yeah, they could eat the tub. So we don't do that anymore, obviously. But before I found Medical Medium, we were doing some of that grass-fed butter with the kids. And so you want to make sure that if she's getting, I mean, the calorie thing I wouldn't worry about at all. She's not going to under-calorie herself because kids don't do that. But you know, making sure that she's eating plenty of fruit, plenty of like enough of a few veggies. Fruit's more important for little ones anyway. A few veggies, you know, if you can get some potatoes in her, some steamed broccoli in her, a little bit of green. So, you know, either do the barley grass or make a juice like an apple spinach juice, which is delicious. And then let her eat what she wants, you know, in the realm of healthy, like in the realm of like good food. And that's the other thing too with children. You don't want to what's the word? If they're not terribly sick, you don't want to overwork them with food because you don't want them to develop weird, you know, like I'm going to leave home and I can't wait to eat what I want kind of thing. So you got to allow some of that like in there. Like, you know, like today my daughter, you know, asked for a cupcake just for lunch. I'm like, really? And she goes, yeah, can I have a cupcake? I'm like, okay, you can have a cupcake. You know, because I can't always be like, no, you have to eat like greens. You have to eat blah, blah, blah. You know, we have a rule. What did you eat that's green today? And everybody has to answer that question by dinner time. What did you eat that's green today? If you didn't eat anything green today, then you're going to have it at dinner time. But other than that, I give them a lot more, you know, options with their food so that they can eat what they want and feel like they're sovereign with their food without having to be like, you know, this idea of like, oh my God, and being forced to eat. So anyway, I hope that answers your question. Tina says, thank you for all you do. You're welcome, Tina. Julie says, like, we should all plan a huge camping trip and everyone pitch a tent and we could all hang out. That sounds like heaven. Monica says, I remember I almost lost your voice at the LA show, but you were so nice to me. And I felt you were so supportive. Oh my gosh, Monica, thank you. I met a lot of people there that day, so I don't remember exactly what happened. But, you know, I wanted to share that comment from Anthony, which was that he was so like, what, you're like afraid of these people? These are your family. Nothing to be afraid of. And the woman just opened up. And she started talking about her stuff. It was so sweet in that moment. I was so touched. I'm often touched by this man. You know, he touches my heart in beautiful ways, and I know he's touched your heart, which is why you're all here. And I'm so grateful to him. I'm so incredibly grateful to him. He is a force in the world, and he's helping hundreds and thousands and millions of people. And I just, it's so much gratitude for him. So, and I'm grateful to all of you, because you guys are reading this stuff and jumping on it and actually doing it. I know the struggle is real because I speak to a lot of you, and you're so courageous. You know, it is not an easy task to change how you eat. It's a very courageous thing to do that you could get ridiculed for, and some of us do. And I just want you all to know I love you, and I am rooting for you on this journey, whatever it takes to get better, to get well, to be healthy, and to get you on your way is what we're here to support you with. And sending you blessings, sending you love. I am really excited to meet all of you on the cleanse. I know so many of you signed up. I'm so excited. And if any of you are on the fence and haven't signed up yet, just listen to this one over again or share it with a friend. Because if a friend is thinking of healing and they want to do the right things and they want that support, please send it to them. That would mean the world to me. And also, we have a lot of people on this cleanse who are new to medical medium. So I know all you old timers and veterans, you're going to rock it out with them, right? You're going to support them. You're going to tell them, you're going to be like, look, I'm doing this, and share all that great stuff. So thank you so much for tuning in here. I will see you Saturday morning for another live at 9 a.m. Eastern. And I posted the link to the cleanse. If you're interested at all, you're just curious, please check it out. Posting it again right now. Please check it out, and I really, really, really look forward to talking with you soon. Oh, you guys have a little more questions. I missed that. What are your thoughts on growth charts? I don't know with growth charts. You know, if you're really like off the chart, then it might be important, but most of the time it's not. Do you know if Anthony will ever make another live appearance? We don't know that yet. Rhonda says, how does the cleanse go? Do you come on live every day, once a week? I'm very interested. Rhonda, I come on live 4 times, so every week. Like 4 times. And then on Facebook, we're there every day, almost every day. The cleanse calls go long, answering a lot of questions. Marie Teresa says, thank you. Denise says, love you. Julie says, thank you. I love you too, Denise. I love you, Julie. Thank you all for being here. And have a great night.